So it's the 20th of September, and we read about poor old John the Baptist getting his head chopped off. And in this story, it's not just that John's experience must have been painful, but it was also painfully embarrassing. As a way to die, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it? It's not that you're ripped to pieces by lions in an arena full of thousands of people sort of standing up for Jesus. It's that you are having your head chopped off at a birthday party, and it's brought on a dish and presented to the daughter of Herodias. So there's not a lot glamorous about that. And one of the lessons I think we can draw from it is that John, who Jesus himself calls the greatest of the prophets in Matthew chapter 11 a few days ago, John, the greatest of all the prophets, even he died in this quite humiliating way. And for all of us as we follow Jesus, if we live as John did, which is faithful witnesses to the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ, basically proclaiming the whole of what Jesus says, if we live like that, we're going to make enemies. Herodias became the enemy of John. And when we do so, our job is to love them, but what will usually happen is they will attack us. And we will find ourselves in situations where we are embarrassed, really, and we're left with a choice of whether we die to ourselves, and in so much as like we don't stand up for ourselves and we don't give like for like and return kind of insults with insults. We die to ourselves. We allow ourselves to be embarrassed and misunderstood and put to death in a way that's painful, perhaps not literally, but with people's words and the way that they misrepresent us and things like that, and being misunderstood. Either we allow that to happen or we don't. And the call for followers of Jesus is not to die for the sake of dying, but it's to be faithful to Jesus, who he is, and his message. And if we are like that and we live like that, we should expect at times to have to be humiliated. And I've been thinking recently, when was the last time that I was humiliated because I was following Jesus, or I made a decision that people misunderstood? And I can't think of one in the last little while. And that's cause for concern for me, because surely, if I'm really being faithful, there'll be areas of friction with the world around me. So maybe that's something to consider and think about. How are we dying specifically for God in our lives? When was the last time you felt, what was the last thing you did that you felt like, man, I'm really dying to myself here, and this is a bit embarrassing, but I'm doing it because I love God? If there hasn't been something for a little while, that's something just to maybe pray and chat through with the Lord. Secondly, Jesus, really simply, in the story of the feeding of the 5,000, what he does is he says to the disciples, you feed them. He doesn't say, no, they don't need to go anywhere because I'll feed them. He says, you feed them. And that's what he says to you and I today, to the needs in the world around you. If you're a youth leader with your youth group, or you're just trying to witness to your friends, or you're trying to help out in your family, it's you do it and I'll help you. So you bring the little bit that you've got, and it will feel insignificant. It will feel like you got a couple of loaves of bread for 5,000 people. But if you bring it to me, I will bless it and I'll multiply it and I'll help you. You bring the little you've got today, and then just watch what I can do with it. So maybe just offer what you've got to Jesus in prayer and ask him for some help.